Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy CIZZY live action back at it again with another episode of the Voices of Value podcast, where we bring dope individuals onto the show every Friday. And I ain't lied to y'all yet because truthfulness is the foundation of all human virtues. And we love a good foundation. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. Whenever you're listening to it, it might be morning time, it might be evening time, it might be afternoon time. But most importantly, it's JROACH time, baby. What's up? Say what's up to the people, Jordan. Let the
Hey
people
man,
know
I
who's here.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. What's good with y'all, man? I appreciate that intro. That's fire. That's fire.
Hell yeah, man. Look, I'm grateful that you made time to jump on to the show today. I'm grateful for the boy Nasir Chris for making the referral.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all haven't heard that episode yet, go double back, listen to the Nasir episode. But today, man, it's all about Jordan. Jordan, let us know, where are you, calling in from today, and then we'll jump into, your early origins of life.
Yeah, yeah. I'm calling in from Los Angeles right now. Yeah, California.
Hell yeah. And you ain't gotta share your address or anything, but what part of LA
Nah.
you in?
Yeah, I'm in Mid City. I'm near Culver City area. Yeah,
Sick,
so
sick.
like yeah, super
Again,
central.
again, you ain't gotta share where you at. But I
Yeah.
used to live in a house on Genesee Ave, like right
Okay.
by this little park. I think it was called Genesee Park. It's in Mid City. It was like one, like I walked to the street light of Venice and
Yeah.
I forgot what the I guess it's Venice and Genesee. But anyway,
Probably
look, man,
Venice and Genesee. Yeah, my cousin used to live on Genesee down here, so yeah, I'm
yeah,
pretty familiar. That's
hip
dope.
hop, hip
How
hop.
long ago did you live out here?
I was there. The last time I was there was 2019 December. So I moved back to Kansas
Where
City like end of 2019.
okay, where fire.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's
Well,
tough.
man, thank you for dialing in today. I
Of
appreciate you
course.
making time. Let's talk about, childhood J Roach, like 5, 6, 7 years old. Where were you living? What was life like? What memories come to mind?
Yeah, like 5-year-old J Roach. We was in Sterling, Virginia, right before we had moved to Leesburg, which is about 10 minutes away. We was like in our townhouse before we had moved into the regular house. But just bruh, my dad's a musician, he was a drummer, so he was always on the road. Whether he was playing at a hotel, a club, or a festival or something. I was like 9 times out of 10, I was there, you know what I'm saying? Just either behind stage, helping him set up, break down, recording or something. So I was either always doing that or I just had started getting into sports. So probably like 5 or 6, I started playing like flag football. I was playing soccer, but eventually, basketball took over. You know what I'm saying?
Word. And we're definitely gonna jump into that a little bit about that
Yeah,
basketball life, but talk a
yeah,
little bit more about your pops and like the inspiration that you gathered from him when it comes to music. And again, we'll dive into your career, but you are a
yeah.
musician. You are
Sure.
I'm sure you were a basketball player for life, but an ex-college
Yeah,
basketball
for
player.
sure, for
So
sure.
definitely an athlete. So what influence in terms of the interests and the behaviors and the character that you developed as a young man, what traits do you feel like you pulled most from your father or that your father influenced?
Shit, I'm not gonna lie, really like just the hustler mentality. My dad's a hustler for real. Like, he never he didn't get the opportunity to go to college. So he was always, he moved out of the house early, moved to Florida, started his journey on his music, was playing rock and roll and doing landscaping and just doing all these things, along with his music. Then eventually started touring and stuff like that, but which is always on his like grind, you know what I'm saying? Okay, maybe this month I didn't make as much as I want to. I'm finna sell 3 or 4 cars. He would just always have some type of hustle because he was never the type of person to be like locked in. You know what I'm saying? He might be home from his job, but he'd be like, what can I do? You know what I'm saying? So for real, that hustle and then that mentality that you can really get anything done for real. Because like just like he didn't specifically, say that, but just looking at his life, like how he had a baby at 16 and what I'm saying, growing up in 60s, 70s and still being successful today with all his kids and still being super present, financially and, physically and emotionally. That really showed me, I was like, damn, like a lot of people got it hard, but like you definitely got through it. And like you're definitely, show that you can do all that, and
I
still be
respect it.
successful for sure in this type of neighborhood. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
He showed up every day, and taught you the act of showing up, no matter how challenging or how difficult things are. Like as long as you
Man,
show up, you can get something done. It may not be everything you want, but you can get something done. So
nah,
I
for
love
sure.
that. I respect
For
that.
sure, for sure.
So you mentioned siblings. Where are you at
Yeah.
in the spectrum? Are you the youngest, the oldest, the middle
Shit.
child, and what role
Um,
did that play in terms of your upbringing?
yeah. I'm so on my in my immediate family, I'm the oldest. We have three. It's me, my younger sister, she's 24, and my younger brother, he's 21. But on my dad's side, I have an older brother, he's about, I think like 48, maybe. And then I have a older sister, she's like 30. But yeah, growing up, like I didn't grow up with my older brother. He was already grown with kids, you know what I'm saying, up in, you know what I'm saying, grown. And then my younger sister, she would always come down, or not my younger sister, my older sister, she would always come down to Virginia. They were from Delaware, so she would always come down to Virginia, kick it with us. But really just them siblings, man. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's very underrated having siblings. I don't know if it's underrated, but um I guess my relationship with my siblings is super strong. Like I talk to my brother and my sister every single day, like all day, every day. My brother's at Duke hooping, so like he might not be available for a call right now, but he'll call right back. We have our own thread, me, my sister, my brother, or me, my brother, my sister, both of my parents. And I guarantee you 75% of the day, either my sister's on my phone or she's going to call my phone, or vice versa. So that plays a big role in support, you know what I mean? Like just allowing each other to like fully be ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Instead of boxing each other and be like, yo, you can do that. So that support right there is honestly a lot, not a lot.
That's major. Oftentimes you don't hear that. And even in semi quote unquote healthy families, like you still don't see that. Everyone
Nah,
might have a
yeah.
good relationship. They may not be beefing or anything, but they don't like talk every day. They're not like building on top of the relationship they already have. They kind of just have
Yeah.
the relationship they have. When they see them, they smile, hug, eat some food. But
Yeah.
outside of that, they're not chopping it up. So it's actually beautiful to hear
Exactly.
that inside of the family. How has that been? How has that been? Like, how long has that been? Is what I'm saying. Has that always been a thing? Like, you've always been tight with your younger siblings when they were young, like 16, 14, 13. Were
Yeah.
you tight with them when you guys were young as well?
Hell yeah. Like we was always, I mean, obviously, like, we're kids. So we was, I was picking at my sister. I would just be doing annoying shit to her, you know what I mean? But I still do that to this day. But like, for the most part, we were all getting along. We all doing sports. My brother watching me play basketball, my sister watching me play basketball. We both running track. But we really got closer, once we started getting older. Like when I went to college, I went away, obviously. And then we all felt that, you know what I'm saying? We're like, oh snap, like you're not right here. And then, probably when Chloe went to college 2 years after, we were already, super close. But then when she went to college right after, had her own freedom, like that's when we like really started being close, like super close. We would tell each other everything, like, I'm damn near driving up there because she might be crying, or she driving down here because the girl might have screwed me over. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So it's been like that for I would give shit, at least 2016, man. And then especially moving out to LA, even more just because like I'm across the country, and we have both similar goals and stuff like that. So we're always just chopping it up about anything.
That's beautiful, man. That actually makes me really happy to hear. So let's talk about, you transition, obviously year by year we get older. God bless, as long
Yeah,
as we continue to live. So,
yeah,
12, 13, 14, we go through a tough transition where we're hitting puberty, we're getting to know who we are as like a young man or a young woman, and we're really trying to just navigate life and what we're interested in. So talk a little bit about your middle school years and like freshman year. Like, what do you remember about that? What are maybe start with like a challenge, like a really big challenge you remember from middle school. Maybe it was like making friends, or maybe a girlfriend broke up with you, whatever it was. Like, what was a big challenge you
yeah.
remember from middle school? And like, how did that maybe influence who you are today or how you think today?
Uh, Big challenge in middle school. Like I wasn't always good at basketball, you know what I'm saying? So I was always just athletic. I was a football player, so I was a running back. So I was just, all you gotta do is be a fast, athletic, juke some people out. You don't really gotta handle a ball. So I was always athletic in that sense. But I guess, in terms of sports, yeah, like I had to get it together in in basketball area. And that kind of taught me like, okay, like you're not the best in terms of like, yo, you're not the most athletic. you might be the most athletic, but you might not be the best at said current sport, maybe football, basketball, whatever. Because the pool gets bigger. You start playing, more people from a different county and this, that, and third. So I feel like that might have humbled me a little bit. In terms of being like, okay, you gotta start locking in, start doing workouts, find an AU team, like find different avenues to get better. And I think maybe that kind of spiraled into maybe me doing like, okay, what do I want to do? Like modeling. How do I get better at it? What do I search? Type of shit like that. But nothing like really specific in middle school, I don't think. You know what I mean?
It's all good. It's all good. And
Yeah.
when you enter high school, did you really get locked in on sports? Were you like a super focused athlete, like everything sports, get good
Yeah.
grades so I can play sports, or were you able to like you just have the natural ability to do well in school, natural ability to show up to practice and be decent
Yeah.
and develop skills, or like where do you think you were at in that spectrum? Like I know for
Um,
me, like to give a quick example for me is just
yeah.
like I was like, yo, I can't do school and sports. Like I'm gonna get C's, like I'm gonna get C
Yeah.
minuses,
Yeah.
and in order to just be able to play. And then I wasn't the best, so I knew like, okay, I'm gonna have to put a lot of hours in. But then I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like, not committed to the to showing up. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
what was your energy like as a high school student? Were you super dedicated and focused, or were you like all over the place?
Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was super dedicated and focused. School came easy to me. Like, I don't know, like I don't like to say it like that, but like school was like kind of like not really a thing that I thought about. It was more so like, okay, I don't like to say finesse, but like, bro, like all of our friends, we all smart, you know what I'm saying? If you did the homework, I'm gonna go copy your homework. And if I did the homework, you can copy my homework. Um, just working around the system. Like, I mean, and also like I was a smart kid, so I didn't really have to like study like, there's kids who would have to study so hard, real hard, and I would not study. I'll study probably a block before and get a B plus or something like that. So school wasn't really that. I was really locked in on football, like I said. I came to Tuscarora, the school I went to, is because we had one of the top coaches for football, and then like our whole entire county was gonna be going there, or our whole entire city was gonna be going there. So I was like, yo, this is gonna be fire. Um, Lo and behold, I didn't like football, didn't like playing for him at least, you know what I'm saying. And then freshman year, like a coach, he was just like, yo, you should play basketball. I wasn't even gonna play basketball. He's like, yo, just pull up to the tryouts. After that, like I fell in love with basketball, and I was just more so school, like I said, it's on the other side, but I was always with my friends. Like my friends all hooped on either the team or we hooped together. We would hoop at Idly, which was the gym right across the street, like the recreational gym, all day, every day, after school, weekends. You know what I'm saying? We got AAU games, and I was also running track too. So I was just super dedicated to sports because I just really wanted to like go to college for sports. That was my big thing, but I didn't know how to do it. I was just being good at sports. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. No, that makes sense. And lo and behold, you do end up playing some collegiate basketball. So what was that
Yeah.
process like? Was it walk-on energy? Was it a scholarship energy? Talk about
Yeah.
the recruiting process and like maybe some struggles there, and then jump into what university you ended up going to.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay. So my recruiting process, it was not a process. You know what I'm saying? So like if I went anywhere else, I would have had full ride scholarships to Division I schools for sure. But my coaching staff for basketball, at least, they weren't. It was like, honestly, I don't like to say that, but they was one of the worst coaching staffs ever, in terms of just like trying to elevate the kids, trying to develop the kids' game, get them to go to get them to go to schools with scholarships. Because I mean, that's why, I mean, not why we're playing, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us, we damn near, you know what I'm saying? We need some
That's why
scholarship
you
money.
playing.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like you definitely trying to go to that level. And my coaches, really, the basketball coaches, they didn't really have those connections. They didn't really know what they were doing in terms of recruiting process. So I was one of the best players in the state, but I didn't have any recruit. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't have anybody bringing people into me. I didn't have anybody, telling me, yo, this coach is interested in you. Like you should take this visit. So my senior year, I had compiled a highlight tape. This is like December senior year, like 4 months before we're supposed to go to college. Like, and I was already getting recruited from Christopher Newport from track, just randomly, and I was like, oh, this is dope. But if I could play basketball, I would rather play basketball than run track. So I started sending my tapes out, And all these D1 schools, you know, high major, mid major, whatever, they were like, yo, we would love for you to be here. But I mean, we've already had our class. Like, you're a senior, about to graduate in 3 months. Like, if you want to, you know, reclass, we can definitely, you know, might be where we work with you. I was more so, you know, I love sports, but I was an engineering mind. I was like, I'm going to get a job. I don't care about reclassing. I'm not trying to stay in high school for another year for sports. So I ended up, you know, I ended up sending more film, and then CNU, Christopher Newport University, was like one of my only Division III schools that I would go to, just because it was so nice. They had my engineering major. Gym was immaculate. Like, the camp is immaculate. Like, everything is just like superb. So went there, went on my recruiting visit there, and I fell in love with it. And then I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna go here. And then after that, I just didn't care about it. That was honestly quick, because I got a lot of replies fast from all these schools. There was like, either we already gave away all too many scholarships, like you got to reclass, or you know, it's either obviously you're not a right fit, like one of the three. And I was just like, damn, all right, it's either too late, or like I'm just gonna have to you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, let me go to CNU. It's beautiful. I can do both sports. I got my engineering major. A lot of friends are going there, so it was dope.
I love that. I love that, man. And a lot of people haven't heard of that school. So what's that school known for? Why do you say it's such a beautiful campus? Like, just
Yeah.
highlight it real quick and then we'll move past that.
Yeah, man. So I mean, I was trying to go to like tech or something like that, just like one of those big schools. But I realized I wasn't like a big school kind of guy. Christopher Newport is like 6,000 people, undergrad and graduate, so it's pretty big for a Division III school, but you know, it's pretty small in general. But the campus is super new, like 1980. They're like damn near remodeled. You know what I'm saying? Like super stuff like that. Like, my freshman dorm was the worst dorms that we had. And, you know, I have my own roommate, and we have our own bathroom, and we have the quad. And then my junior year or sophomore and up, we have our own bathroom, our own kitchen, our own room. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So it was fire. But what they're known for, I feel like they're known for definitely academics. Business they're one of the top business schools in Virginia, and one of the hardest curriculums in damn near the East Coast region. So school is definitely what they're kind of known, right next to William and Mary. So they're definitely trying to compete in all those aspects. So
Oh yeah.
definitely a very, very hard school to get into if I didn't play basketball.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I can tell is you're definitely driven. You're in sports. You love sports. You wanted to compete at a high level in every sport that you were playing in. You were interested in becoming an engineering major, which I believe you just confirmed that you ended up graduating and doing that. I don't know. You can share if you did, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, you ended up doing that. That's obviously a very hard major and a very
Mm-hmm.
like challenging path to go down. And then last but not least, which is what we're going to spend the rest of the conversation primarily
Yeah.
talking about, is being an artist, being a musician, and trying to and a model. So just a creative in general, like, and trying to succeed and find ways to win and get your name out there and get your skill and your talent out there into the world of millions and millions of other
Yeah.
creators, like such a competitive area, right?
Yeah.
So one thing I want to admire you for is just like your natural desire to chase things that are hard, because I
Appreciate that.
think they'll
Appreciate that.
have a better return on investment. When we go after things that are challenging, the ROI on something that's really challenging is going to be way, higher, better,
Yeah.
more, from whatever perspective you look at it from, whether it's enjoyment or whether it's financial, like
Mm-hmm.
the ROI on that is going to be way higher than if you're like,
Yeah.
all right, I can go do this in 2 months and I'll just work here the rest of my life. It's like, all right,
Yeah. Facts.
so it's mad easy.
It's cool.
It's
Like, I mean,
like,
it's damn cool. Do what you do. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
do what
But
you do, but like you got to understand what comes with that. So,
for sure.
with that being said, how would you describe your, I guess mentality, your daily mentality? How do you look at life? What do you think is the meaning of like purpose, like of being here on
Mm-hmm.
earth, like at least for Jordan? So, yeah,
Yeah.
what's your mental approach day to day? And then like, what do you feel like, your purpose for being here on earth is? Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously you have big goals for yourself, so there has to
For
be
sure.
something interesting there.
Yeah. 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 First question. I'm tripping. What was your first question? You said what is my daily life, my daily mentality? Yeah.
Yeah.
Daily mentality, man. I'm like, obviously I can't lie to you, like say I'm waking up like every single day, like 7:30, getting up and working out, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's like I'm looking the way I like to tell people I like kind of live my life is I look 10 years ahead. So I'm 26 now. Even when I was 24, I would look at 34. I'm 26, I'm looking at 36. So I kind of just like I noticed that a lot of people don't really like think that far ahead. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what their mental space looks like, in terms of what their physical health looks like. So I really like to focus on 36, like 10 years ahead. What does my company look like? What does my branding look like? What does my body look like? What does my mental health look like? What does my wife look like? Or whatever, whatever all that stuff is. What can I do today that's gonna like make that happen? You know what I'm saying? Also like I live life with like I don't like regretting things. So I'm like, okay, at 36, would I regret not doing X, Y, and Z? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like living with regrets is like the number one. I feel like to me is like the worst thing ever. You know what I mean? Like it's worse than being broke, worse than being, impoverished. I feel like it is, honestly. I mean, because if you're broke and impoverished, like at least you have like you like, damn, I at least tried it. I might have failed, but like I at least tried it. But now you never tried it. You might be rich or poor, whatever the case may be. But you're like, damn, I never tried to, I don't know, like whatever it is, make music or, like start a company, something, whatever it is. So I just kind of learned like that. I was like, yo, I want my mental health to be super happy. I want to be in a place where I'm exactly where I want to be because I know a lot of 30-year-olds, 31-year-olds, 32-year-olds that are like just now figuring out, they're like, damn, like I don't want to be a stylist anymore. I don't want to be a, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? They're like, I hate it. And I don't want that. And they'll be like, oh, you're 26, you're so young. I wish I did this. I'm like, I mean, you're not that much, older. So like, I kind of got to take something like, you did something to make you regret those last 6 years. So it's more so just making me happy, doing whatever screw the money, making me happy, looking 10 years back.
Love it. I love it. What makes Jordan happy?
Shit, really family. You know what I mean? I got it tatted on me. So like that's my number one thing that I kind of keep close to me. Like I said, I'm always on FaceTime with my mom, my dad, sister, brother, somebody, whether it's my, friends from CNU, like Nas, these are my brothers. That's family to me. So that all is in the same lane. So family for sure making me happy. And my like determination to like retire my parents is what would make me happy. Like not necessarily
Why?
financial gains, because I hate the fact I'm we're young and we understand about the rat race and we understand about doing you can do what you love and stuff like that. I just hate seeing my parents and my aunties and stuff like that 60 years old, 65 years old, still going to work, you know what I'm saying? Because they have to. It's not like, they're bored. It's like you might be making a lot of money, but you have a lot of bills at this point, so it's like you have to still go to work. And it's like I want them to be like, damn, it's 60, 65, 70. It's time to like really like boom, kick back. What do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to start a podcast? Do you want to start a different business? You know what I'm saying? You're 70, you're 65, you have 40, I like to say 100. You have at least 40, 40 years left, you know what I'm saying? God willing, So at least 20 years of energy, that willing to give. So that's kind of what motivates me and makes me happy. It's just like seeing that them like seeing them see me like kind of succeed, like all of us, honestly, my brother, my sister, seeing them see us succeed and being like, okay, boom, like y'all are actually doing what y'all said y'all are doing. And like in the time, like, cause we always told them we're gonna retire, y'all. We're doing my brother always told him he's gonna play basketball. My sister, she's got her own mental health brand. It's insane. I would want you to interview her. Me, I told myself I'm gonna do modeling music and I'm a business head. So, start businesses and stuff like that. And they see that happening and they're so proud. And I'm like, okay, that's what makes me happy and fuels me and be like, okay, boom. That day where I'm like, yo, here's 20,000 a month or 10,000 a month, whatever you need a month for you to be like, okay, I don't have to go work for Verizon this anymore. I don't have to go, be a contractor anymore. Today, that's the day that I'll probably cry. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like tears of joy, like I feel like, and it just I
Love
hate to
that.
say it as like financial gain because that's not like what makes me happy. You know what I mean? But it's making like others' lives
It's a
easier in
tool.
terms.
It's a tool.
Yeah, yeah, you know.
And it's a tool that you'd like to acquire in order to achieve a certain feeling, for your family to be able to ensure a level of relaxation and safety. I
Yeah,
mean,
no, literally.
it's real life, man. So I understand, and I kind of want to use this as a transition to your music, but still on the topic of family. So
Yeah.
I was watching one of your vlogs recently. I think
Hmm.
it was your first headline show in
Yeah.
Virginia, and I believe your pops was there.
Oh
Am I
yeah, he was
correct?
playing. He was playing. Yep.
Yeah. So talk about how that felt. Talk about how it felt to like have your pops right there next to you, like in regards to music and being able to connect with your pops on a music level, especially
Yeah.
your first headlining show. It was a good show out. There's a lot of people, a lot of
Yeah.
energy. It's like you were in your element, but
Yeah.
you were in
Yeah.
your element around your pops. Like how that felt.
Exactly. Nah, it was a surreal feeling. I'm not gonna lie. Because even when we were thinking about it, we've always like as I started making music and started getting better in terms of, I started, doing shows like last year, and I had an idea of doing a show at Virginia. And I was always like, yeah, I want y'all to play and whatever. But, even a couple of months before the show that actually happened, when we were like, yo, let's lock it in, we did the deposit and, started sending them the set list, I was like, damn, this is getting real. And then on the actual day, um sound checking everything, it was like, damn, like I'm actually here with my dad, like, and my uncle is also in the band too. So I'm here with my dad, and my uncle, and it's just like crazy. I used to just watch them growing up, watch their gigs all the time, like whether I'm hearing it on tape, watching them on a tape, at the club with them, or at the, winery, or what, whatever it is. It was surreal, walking on that stage being like, damn, like this is coming full circle. You know what I mean? Like, this is what my dad was been doing since he was 16. And I'm like, I'm 25, 26, doing it with my dad. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like Bron playing with Bronny, you know what I mean? Like, in
For
that type
real.
of sense.
Yeah.
So it was definitely super dope. And I couldn't shake that feeling for like a couple of days. I was like, damn, this is insane. Like, even on stage, you got drinks in you and everything, and drinks and adrenaline. You're like, wow, I'm actually doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was insane. I'm not gonna lie.
Love it. I love it. So you are the self-described king of 3000s R&B. Can you tell
Yes.
us, the audience, a little bit more about number one, what 3000s R&B is? So the question I
Yeah.
said was, can you tell us about what inspired the creation of the genre? But I don't know if this
Word.
is your creation. I've just never heard of this genre in
It's
general. I don't know
definitely
if
my
it is
creation.
a genre or if it's just like a wording. So talk to me about 3000s R&B and just kind of
Yeah.
break it down for the audience.
Yeah. So 3000s R&B, it's one of those things like you have to like find a niche. Like, kind of, especially on TikTok, everybody's gonna have to market on TikTok. And I don't know if your For You page is with a bunch of musicians, but my For You page is like kind of filled with musicians who are, either blowing up or on the rise, whatever. And the ones that blow up or, are on the rise, and the same with branding, and, you could have the same speaker brand as somebody else, but um your actual, like, your niche, or, the people you're marketing to is like, those are your core 100 people, 1,000 people, whatever. And so I wanted to make a brand. I was just like, all right, cool, 3000s R&B. I love 2000s R&B, and that's what I feel like I'm very much inspired by, like 2000s hip hop, like Outkast, Aaliyah, like big, like, all those, like, Timberland beats, you feel me, like all that type of thing, Missy Elliott, everything.
Them Timberland beats was something crazy, man.
Man,
Something crazy.
man.
One of my goals is I see Timberland he's like really into working out, and I'm a personal trainer, and I
Oh,
know he
word.
has his own I know he already has his own great personal trainers, but one of my goals is to train him just for like a month, just so I can
Yeah,
like
that should be
chop it
hard.
up with him about all his music.
Yeah, no, that would be hard, bro. That would be hard. I was like, just like that type of influence, man. Like, it's not that it influences. I mean, I feel like I've been making music, right? And I've always loved R&B, and like I was like, okay, either I'm not like a trap rapper, you know what I'm saying? I'm not from the hood type stuff. I'm like somebody who's gonna just spit bars how I feel, in a melodic way. And then I was just like, okay, like this is more R&B esque, and the drum bounces that I was using are more like, 2000s R&B, and I was like, okay, but I'm doing it my way. So I just kind of was like 3000s. Like, I seen somebody, I think one of my homeboys had like, I think he blew up off of the tag. It was like, or one of his videos went viral. Said it's like 3000s pop music or 3000s like it was something 3000s, and I was like, shit, 3000s R&B, and I just been running with it for like at least 3 months. Had some merch with it. It's been working, it's been doing all right.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
One thing, I ain't no goddamn marketing manager or nothing,
Yeah,
but it made me think of like some of these fashion influencers who like, show their outfits and with like cool ass transitions and shit.
yeah,
And it just made me think of some of them crazy ass outfits that these brands are creating and shit that are just like super futuristic.
yeah.
Mixing them two on your
You
TikTok, you know what
feel
I'm
me?
saying?
Okay, okay.
3000s R&B with the little trend
3000
with your
fashion.
music in the back with your music in the background with the transitions and some fly ass
Actually,
fits.
I actually need to write that down. Hold up, let me see
Hey,
that.
write
Because
it down,
I
write it down.
hey,
I'm sure you already
I'm
thought
with
of
all
it and
that.
it slipped through, so just
I
remind
you
yourself.
know you feel me?
But no, I
Fashion
love that.
talks with songs. All right, bet. Let's get it.
Here we go. Here
Yeah.
we go. But no, man, I love that. I hadn't heard of 3000s R&B before, so we had to definitely break that down first. So
Hell
I
yeah.
appreciate that, and I
Some
think
made
that's
up
really
shit.
dope. I look forward to seeing some of the content and music you continue to put out there. And
Yes,
speaking
sir.
of music that is out, your album, Her Favorite Playlist, is
Yep.
popping, it's booming.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
can you walk us through your creative process when making this album and just
Yeah.
talk about maybe one or two of your favorite songs that you feel like the listeners should listen to?
Yeah. The creative process for me, I mean, I feel like it's kind of when I make an album, it's kind of the same. Well, at least for the past 3 tapes that I've made, it's been kind of the same. I like I'll really just like lock in for like a month. Because I can record like probably 5 songs in a day, 3 songs in a day, 4 songs, whatever, if I'm like locked in. So I might lock in for a month, get like 20, 30 songs, maybe 15, 20 songs. And at that point, you kind of have 6 songs that you like a lot. You're just like playing a lot. So that's what kind of happened with this joint. I was like, had a couple songs from the first song was actually like a song I wrote like 2 years ago. And then most of them were just like songs I had wrote within like the month and a half. I was just writing songs. I was like, damn, I want a new album that's gonna top my, November 24th. Started writing those songs or recording those. And after I had about like maybe 20, I had at least 5, I had at least 10, I had 10 that I was like, okay, this is gonna be cool. And then I sent it to some of my boys, some people like I respect their music opinion. They're like, let's, I don't like this one as much, or boom, something that I was already iffy about. They're like, okay, I don't do that one. And it kind of got down to like 6 songs. And I was like, I want to do skits. And so that process was a lot, because I started in September, started narrowing it down, and then I was like started fixating the order. And I'm a type of, when I do projects, I like projects, you know what I'm saying? I like the art of putting something together, you know what I'm saying? And also like all of my songs are just speaking real truths. Like obviously, like I don't drive a Range Rover or something like that, but like you know what I'm saying, like a lot of the stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, just in the hills doing stuff like that is real stuff. Girls, whatever, shoot stuff like that is real stuff. So whether it's always my real life. So I kind of put it in a chronological order to the point where it's like it kind of flowed with my last, I would say, year and a half of being in LA, whether that's being with relationships or music, and modeling. So that's kind of how I kind of put that together. Started getting skits, and then started putting together music videos.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
And by the title of the album and being that you are a fan of R&B, I assume
yeah,
there's a lot of love,
yeah,
relationships, pain,
yeah,
influence inside of the music. So can you talk about how it feels to like get vulnerable on a song and or just share a real life story from like things that you're struggling with in terms
yeah,
of relationships or past love interest or current love interest, like how does it feel like creating music and how do you like navigate writing so that you're not like
yeah.
exposing folks, but you're not sharing
Man,
too much of your story, but you're
shit.
sharing enough so that the listeners can like connect with it. Like
Yeah.
how do you approach that? Have you ever like written some lyrics down and had to delete that shit?
Nah, girl, I'm not gonna lie, like for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes like I like getting vulnerable on a track. That's I like recording by myself, like no one in the room. Because I mean you can just try shit. You can just scream on the mic and be like, oh, how's this gonna sound? Just like try different melodies, whatever, without being self-conscious of people. And then two, like I'll, sip a little bit of wine, maybe a little tequila, get them thoughts going, and I might say like a specific name or a specific event. I'll be like, damn, that's kind of wild, and then I'll keep it. For real, I'm not gonna lie, because no one knows. Like, no, you know what I'm saying?
That's
I could that
valid.
could
That's
that
valid.
could be a completely fake name, a completely fake scenario. You know what I'm saying? No one knows unless this random shorty named Sierra is listening to it. You know what I mean? You feel me? Like, I don't know. Sometimes it's like obviously not her name, but the situations, if that person is listening to it, that one person, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna be like, oh, this is definitely like me. You know
All
what I
right, I
mean?
gotta interrupt real quick. Have you ever got a
Yeah,
text from like a shorty like, "Is this about me?"
for sure.
That's hilarious. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. For sure. But like, I mean, sometimes it'd be like, nah, it definitely wasn't. It was just general, like it'd be just like a general, thing. Like maybe like my boy have been to it. Like some, like a lot of times when, people write, at least me, I'll write a lot about my situations, but also like about the situations that close ones have gone through. You know what I'm saying? Because like you can empathize. A lot of people feel that way too. So you can put those type of bars
Absolutely.
in there. I'll be like, nah, it's not even about you for real. Like, chill out, It's like chill.
That's hilarious. That's funny, especially the part about telling the stories of the homies. I was watching this one R&B singer. He's like up and coming. I can't remember his name. I just watched a random interview, and he
Yeah.
was talking about he's like, hey, listen. He said, he's like, excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen, but he's like, hey, look, I'm a fat ugly nigga, so I just rap about. He's like, I just rap about my homeboys, girl.
Nah, bro, dead.
He said, I just rap about their situations and tell their stories, and I was like, that's hilarious. But that makes
Nah.
sense because like I'm not an artist or anything, but I have like my little moments of life. My big brother's an artist. I'll send you his music after we're done.
Okay, well, for sure.
But like when I'm around him or something like that, I might get influenced to like write some music, and I won't have anything necessarily to write about myself. I'll just tell the stories of the homies because I'll be like,
Yeah.
I'll just be like, hey, look, I'll be like, I remember I pulled up on the block and bet
You
him
feel
in
me?
his head.
Hey,
I'm
you
like,
feel
well,
me?
I'm like, hey, I didn't hit him in the head with a bat,
I
but
I didn't do it, but someone did, and I know somebody else is going through that.
exactly, exactly. So I always love to ask artists that question because I always find
Yeah,
it
man.
funny how sometimes some music comes back to
Hell
knock on
yeah.
your door a few years later.
Nah,
So
for sure. And I be freestyling a lot. Like most of the time I don't write. I don't really write. I like maybe write like one bar to start off or something. Or but for the most part, I'll just like get a beat, and if I like the beat immediately, I'm loading it up and I'm gonna start saying something. But I'll just like freestyle bar for bar, not the whole song, you know what I mean? Bar for bar,
yeah,
melodies
absolutely.
and stuff like that. And that's how I feel like a lot of artists like kind of get away from the vulnerability sometimes is because they're focused on writing instead of like, what is this beat and this environment right now making you feel like, you know what I mean? Like, how is that making your body feel? Like, what is this making? What thoughts are actually running in your head like right now, as this beat is playing? So, because if you're thinking about that in the beat, like while the beat is playing, it might be some R&B beat, you might automatically think of like your ex girl. Somebody else is gonna automatically think of their ex girl. So you know what I'm saying? Like, just like,
That's why we have breakups. That's why we have breakup songs and sex songs and go to a fight
yeah,
songs and go to the gym because it connects and it tells a story that connects with the person. I think music is so powerful and so that can be kind of like dangerous at times. Like I know,
yeah,
like not to bring religion into it or anything, but in my
sure.
religion, there's like a quote that says like music is a ladder to the soul, essentially.
Okay, yeah,
So it's just like, and when I think about that, sometimes it makes me reconsider the music I'm listening to because I'm like, yo, I love this song. Or like, for example, somebody I've been
yeah.
listening to lately, shout out to BF the Pac Man from Detroit.
Ah, he's
One of the,
crazy.
yeah, he's crazy, but yo, like, but he's so clever and the bars are so
Yeah,
wow. And I'll
tough.
just be like, wow, this is just tough. But then I'll be mad at myself because I'm like listening to this and I'm like, wow, now this got me thinking about some disrespectful shit to say to my lady.
Some
And I'm not a
wild shit.
disrespectful dude. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm a loving person. So I'm just
yeah.
like,
You feel
you got
me?
to be careful. You have to like have your balance with music. And so, how do you
Yeah.
explore that as an artist yourself? Do you consciously think about maybe the effect this might have on, let's say, a young listener or maybe your little brother or something like that?
Yeah,
Like, do you ever think about that, or are you
so
more of the artist that's like, hey, it's the parents' responsibility to take care?
nah. I really feel like music is like damn near like one of the obviously like one of the biggest influencers ever, you know what I'm saying, to this day. So I am conscious about what I say. I'm not a wild dude, you feel me? So like I'm not out here robbing people. I never was robbing people, you know what I'm saying? So like worst thing I was doing was like smoking weed like after school or something, like, and like so I don't have anything crazy to be rapping about. So most of my stuff is just like real life going through it. You know what I'm saying? I'm financially struggling in LA, or trying to find a new girl, or figuring out how to get through this college life, or partying in college life, or partying in LA, or driving through the hills, or just shit like that I like actually go through. I'm definitely like conscious, like, okay, yeah, like put that stuff in there instead of just like trying to say you have like sometimes you'd be like, yo, I have a gun in the car or whatever, but like that's not your
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Just the way you just said that right there, I wouldn't believe you anyways.
you wouldn't because you don't, because you're like, you look at me, you interview me, you like, bro, that's what had me so tight at seeing you. People thought I was like, yo, are you from Norfolk? I was like, no, bro, I'm not from here. Like, I'm not from the hood over here. I'm from these suburbs, bro. So like, I like, when I think about that shit, I'm just really trying to like promote like inspiration sometimes. So if you like listen to some of my lyrics, like as you can see, um, what did I say? Moved out to LA to get my own life, some advancements. I knew it was hard, but really it just come with practice. Just shit like that,
Yeah, yeah.
Like I would be putting shit like that in there, but I'm like, no wild ass killing bars. I'm not doing
No,
that
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Essentially, you're authentic, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he's
bro.
like,
Like,
man,
because
I'm
at
just
first I
authentic and
started
tell my
doing that.
story.
At first, that's how like you started. Like, that's why I didn't start making music, because that's all I listened to was like Young
That's how
Boy
everyone,
and
yeah,
Thug and all
everyone,
them. And then
yeah.
you start trying to make music like that, and you're like, this is not
That's
hitting.
not
And
me.
also, it's
Yeah,
like not me. Like, you're trying to force these bars. These men are just actually saying something that they've seen in their real eyes. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
you can't. You know what I'm saying? So
And that story can break
sometimes.
down to, yeah, yeah, exactly, sometimes, but like you said,
Yeah.
what they've seen, sometimes
Yeah.
we it goes back to telling the story of the people around us. I feel like one thing I loved that Ti said, like many years ago, he was like having a debate with somebody on stage, and they're like, well, don't you think rappers should be responsible for what they're saying, blah blah blah. And he's like, listen, if you want us to stop rapping about shooting, robberies, guns, killing, then take them out that situation. And a
Yeah.
lot of these people, yes, it's their responsibility to take them out that situation. But if you're a 16-year-old, you're not in control of that. Your
Nah.
parents is taking care. Whatever your parents did is what you have to
That's
follow,
where
and
you're
what
at.
that's where you're at in your life, and that's just a reality of life. Can you get out of that at a later point? Absolutely. But
Mm-hmm.
like, if you locked into that, what do you expect them to be rapping about? Like
That's all
shopping
they
at
know.
Erewhon? Like, ain't
They
nobody
don't
going to.
know. They
Yeah,
ain't never even been to
yeah.
Erewhon, bro.
Exactly. So I definitely feel it. Like that's why I still listen to rap, because there are moments that connect with me. Like,
Oh, for sure.
I again, same just like you. I didn't grow up in no super dangerous neighborhood. I didn't
Yeah.
grow up gang banging, nothing like that. But I
Yeah.
shared my best friend got murdered. Like
Yeah.
I have
Where?
other homies I went to school with that was like my homies in class that got murdered. I got
Yeah.
homies in jail for murdering.
For
Not because
sure.
I'm from a bad neighborhood. I just
Yeah.
ended up being around these type of
Around these
people.
people.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah. For
saying?
sure.
And so when I'm sharing a story, it's not me sharing a story. Oh, I lived a hard life. No, this is just what I've seen around
That's
me.
what I've been
This is
around.
it,
Yeah.
exactly. And so when you make music, it can, or when I listen to certain music, like Nipsey's music, talking about a story, or like when I listen to certain artists, I'm just like, wow, this really connects me back to this moment
Yeah.
with my boy Nesto before he passed, or like, oh,
Yeah.
this situation that this rapper's talking about is literally the exact situation that happened to this homie. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
for
So it's
sure.
just like I
For
feel it. But
sure.
let's move from that. I want to ask you, if you could collaborate with any artist. I know this is a very standard question that every artist
Yeah.
gets
You good.
asked, but I do have to ask it. So if you
Yeah.
could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Um. Damn, living or dead. Well, I can do right now. Kalani for sure.
Mm,
Yeah, Kalani is like, she's my favorite artist. Um, like I
why?
just like her. I don't know, like I like her writing. Like, I mean, obviously she has a team. I like know a couple of her writers and producers, but that has nothing to do with it. I just love the way she sounds on the track. I love the hooks that she comes up with, her bridges. Like, her songwriting to me, whether it's her songwriting or her team songwriting, whatever you want to say it is, that type of songwriting, I love it. I don't know. It just like always resonates. It hits with me, her, or like really like Ariana Grande, to be honest. Like, that's who I be listening to. Like, I be listening to those type of artists like Ariana Grande, Cash Page, like, you know what I'm saying? Who else I've been listening to? Like Tank, you feel me?
Tink.
Like,
I love it.
yeah,
I
you feel
love
me?
it. Well, listen, I have so many thousands of questions to ask you
Yeah.
that that we got to wrap it at some point. So
Hell yeah,
I wanna definitely set up a part two. But
for
what I'm
sure.
gonna do is I'm gonna ask you a final question here today. We didn't even get into the super good questions I had, so I am a little mad, but it's all good.
Yeah,
We're gonna run it back for a part two.
easy, easy,
But
easy.
but I want to ask you. You know, it's your last day on Earth.
Yeah,
You lived an amazing life. You've been, you know, just thriving, and you are sitting in front of your great grandkids, and they ask you, great grandpa JROACH, what
yeah.
is one piece of advice on how to live a good life? What are you going to tell
Um, Probably some super cliche answer that always works. I mean, because cliche works, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. But to be honest, I would really just tell them to live life with no regrets and no fear. You know what I mean? Because um, like I said, being broke is temporary, poor is a mindset, so that's a whole other thing. But like being broke and financially like not able to right now is like that's super temporary. Like what's not temporary is that regret of like, you know, not doing X, Y, and Z, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you're young. So like I mean I watch a lot of Gary V, so or I used to watch a lot of Gary V, and he's always like interview old people, right? And one of the things they always say is just live life with no regrets, because when you get to 80, 90, whatever their age is, you won't have the energy to go out and play basketball at LA Fitness and try out for the Drew League and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So live life, no regrets. Who cares about money? Money's fake. You know what I mean? You can get money at any time. Like money, you can like money's really fake. Just yeah. So
them? Man, thank you so much for making time to jump on the show today.
yes,
Next
sir.
time we jump back on, we going you know what we should do, which would be sick, and I'll see if you and Nasir are down for this, but to do like
Yeah.
a dual episode where I interview the both of you guys, because the
Hey.
same, like I ask good questions to be able to
Yeah.
have the initial conversation, but my favorite questions were at the end that we didn't get to
Yeah.
today.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
I want to
Okay.
be able to mix those with Nasir as well. So that would be
Hey,
dope. But
man.
prior to leaving, man, plug the people on how they can, you know, say a random model agency listens to this, wants you to hire you for some work. How do they get in contact with you? Say somebody wants to work
Bro.
with you on music. How do they get in contact with you? Say somebody wants to
Word.
become a new fan. Where do they find you? So just plug all
Word.
your socials or how people should get in a hold of you, brother.
Yeah, obviously name is JROACH. I am JROACH on all platforms, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. On YouTube it's just JROACH36. That's where I'm posting vlogs, beat content, music videos, tutorials, all that type of stuff. And then for modeling, man, hit up my agency, One Management, either New York or LA office if you want to contact me for some work. But if you want some cheap work, DM me, because if you go there, they're not going to charge you cheap.
And nah, I was about to make a funny joke, but we're gonna keep that for another time. But anyways, but nah. So my guy, thank you so
Yeah,
much. I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this conversation, which I know you did, listen to it again and then
yes,
share with
sir.
a friend. 5-star review. Jordan Roach will be back again in a few weeks for a part two, guaranteed. We're gonna make it
Yes,
happen.
sir. Yes, sir.
Ladies
Man.
and gentlemen, thank y'all. Salute. Let's see y'all next Friday. Bye bye.